Welcome to the Roblox court case series. This is where we take it back and find out if we really looked at the situations in the right way and not in the moment. Now, I thought about making this series for a while. A series where we can look at all the evidence in the entire case and really think back on if we handled that the right way in the midst of everything, or was everything we was doing clouded by judgment and clouded by how we thought everybody else was gonna feel. Now, the situation here is the Retalix role incident. And I say Retalix and not Nano because Nano didn't really have a big part in this. Allow me to explain. This situation has a lot of holes in it, but I'm here trying to pass these holes and bring some justice to this wicked case. If you guys have any other cases or anybody wants me to defend them, let me know, send me all the info I can get and I'll try to build up a case for you, try to defend you. But I'm here to bring the truth. That's what I made this channel for, to bring the truth, and that's what I'm gonna do. So the story is quite simple actually. There was a group chat with some people, notable people including Nano, Moss, and Retalix. I was playing the main story in order so it all kind of makes sense as to why it turned out this way and the way it did, so we try to prove people innocent. So we established a group chat and supported members, Moss, Retalix, and Nano. One day Retalix sends pictures of this girl to the group chat out of nowhere. And yes, for the story, they were nudes. I think it's important to note now that nobody asked for the pictures, at least not Nano, my defendant in this case. There is no screenshot of proof of him asking for the pictures or sending them at all, so he didn't spread them and didn't ask for them. All he did was be in a group chat when pictures got sent, unbeknownst of him. We don't know how many days go by after the pictures were sent by Moss, but what we do know is that one day not too far after, Nano and Red were both banned from Road. And the way my client found out he was banned was from Moss telling him, hey, you got banned from Deepwoken, delete the messages from the chat so I can unban you. My client Nano at the time, who believed as Moss the Boss as his friend, as his close friend, deleted the messages. Now you may ask, why would Nano even delete the messages? Who was Moss to get him unbanned? Well, that actually is a pretty good reason too. Moss was very close to Snake back then. He was in his group chat out of Haven, he used to be with Snake all the time. That's how the public seen him. But in reality, those who actually knew Snake's and Moss' relationship, it was really Moss being a literal dog to Snake. Snake never really thought of Moss as a friend, and neither did most people out of Haven. They just used him as a punching bag and a joke to their chat. And Nano, being a 16-year-old he was, who believed in Moss the Boss as his friend, he went and deleted all his messages from the chat. Now it gets even more crazy. When Nano went to talk to Rag about his ban, Rag informed him that he should have never seen the pics and should have reported it the same way Moss did. That's when everything clicked on my client. Not only did Moss send the pictures all on his own, right before things went south, he lied and blamed it on all of his friends to get away scot-free. But what Moss did not expect is that the person he ratted to would not only rat him out, but expose the truth altogether. And that person's name was Kilos. Kilos never liked Retalix, so when Kilos saw as a chance to out Retalix for having these pictures, he went and informed everyone. But what Moss didn't expect and what Kilos didn't expect was that the person Kilos told also told them about Moss's part in it too. So Moss's entire plan to get away scot-free was unfortunately ripped to shambles. So to recap everything, Retalix sent these pictures to the group chat unbeknownst of anyone. And when Moss seen them, he saved them and sent them around. He sent them to Kilos, and Kilos said, well, I hate Retalix, I'm going to expose Retalix for having these pictures. Moss, I'm going to say you something to me trying to report him. What they didn't expect was that somebody that Kilos told exposed Moss the truth and realized that Moss didn't report them at all. And when Moss got exposed for being the mastermind that he was, the whole group chat got banned from all Ragusa games. Allow me to show you the type of person my client is. My client, NanoProdigy, was ready to take the bullet and get banned so all his friends could get unbanned just for something he had nothing to do with. He had no involvement with the picture or the picture being sent or the picture being leaked. But because he cared about his friends so much, he wanted to be the hero so bad for his friends, he was ready to put himself on the line to get banned so everybody else can get free. What he didn't know was that how Kilos got the group chat was because Moss himself, a person in the group chat, sent the Kilos to try and save his own ass. Nano was willing to risk everything to save his friend, even if that friend was a rat. He didn't even think about the possibility of his friend being a rat. That's how much of a good person my client NanoProdigy is. After like 2 years, Rag decided to let Nano off the ban because he was a minor at the time and had no involvement in the receivement or spreading of the pictures. He was just in the group chat. Now the timeline keeps going. Nano was going crazy on Deepwoken, making videos on videos, having fun, until one day it happens. The girl from the incident comes back and DMs Rag and Arch, asking why is Nano still allowed to play Deep. And because she DM'd Arch and Rag, they went and removed Nano's perms to play again. And this is where I come in. My goal here is to defend my client from the injustice by laying out blatant, cold-hearted facts. I'm not trying to defame anybody. I'm not trying to talk bad on anybody. I am just trying to cleanse my client of any wrongdoings that he did not commit. The first piece of evidence I want to bring up is Nano getting banned from Rogue was enough of a punishment of him considering his standing in the incident. Not only was Nano a minor in the situation, he was not involved at all besides just being in a group chat at a wrong time. He did not spread the pictures, he did not ask for them. I don't even think he responded to the pictures, he just seen the group chat and keep going by his day. And before you say, oh my god, he should have said something, no. Nano, who was 16 at the time, a high school student. Unfortunately, in high school, news gets spread around all the time, and it's a real thing. Parents teach their children all the time to mind your own business. Was going to tell Rag and Arch the morally right thing to do? Yes, I guess. But why would you be NanoProdigy, a 16-year-old with no experience in this at all, risk everything you have going on to just go and tell somebody about somebody else's other situation when it had nothing to do with you? Nano in that case did the right thing. He didn't want to jeopardize his YouTube, he didn't want to jeopardize himself playing the game. He just said there's nothing to do with me, I'm going to keep going about my day, that's not my business. And another thing, who would Nano even tell in the situation? If we sit there and think realistically, why would Nano tell Arch, Snake, and Rag about what Moss did? If child nudes are being spread, why would you tell them over the police? Why would Nano sit there and say, oh my god, I have to go tell some Roblox developers that child pornography is being spread and not call the police? Why are we even thinking that's even a feasible option in this situation? Following off my next case is even if Nano did tell Rag and Arch, how does it have to do anything with the game they own? Nano got banned from a game over a situation that had nothing to do with the game. And that's where being morally right is just wrong. Banning Nano from Rogue in the long term was the wrong thing to do. You banned someone who was just in a chat from a game that had nothing to do with the situation. You banned my client from a game with absolutely nothing to do with the situation. It almost seems like you guys said, wow, this has nothing to do with me. I just want to feel involved and ban them too. And for what reason, I do not understand. And so the jury can understand, aka the viewers, this will be the same as somebody sending a group chat you're in high school, some girl's nudes, and for some reason PlayStation and Xbox ban you from the online services because somebody sent nudes to your phone. Do you hear how stupid that sounds? Exactly, because it's stupid and it makes no sense looking back at it. Now my second case is the fact that she came back 4 years later to get Nano banned again. Let's be real here. The thing that happened 4 years ago does not affect her in any way this current day. Especially in new society where showing yourself naked is empowering and cool. This is what I believe would happen. She seen Nano having fun, his channel thriving from Deepwoken, and she said, wow, I have the power to ruin that. Let's do that. Nano has never talked about her or Moss. So there was no reason for her to ever decide, wow, I feel like a victim again. I need to come back and put Nano in the dirt for no reason at all. Even in her reason to get Nano banned again, she said, oh my god, you told me he would never play your game again. Why is he playing your game? From what I can assume, considering he got banned from Deep and this happened during the Rogue days. She did not even have a valid reason why she wanted him banned. She did it just because she had the power to. Because she was able to play victim again. She used that to her advantage just to get somebody else banned. Just like people on Twitter who try to start random cancel culture just because their lives are horrible. Honestly, the real victim in this is my client NanoProdigy. Not only did he not do anything in this case, he even got repunished for doing nothing. Unjustly and unfairly. What we should be talking about is how the quote-unquote victim tried to use her victim status to bring someone down for no reason at all. What we should be talking about, quote-unquote victim, is using the good-hearted Rag to her advantage to get what she wants, which is getting an innocent player banned for something he had no parts of. And before you say I'm trying to demonize her, which is not my intention, I'm keeping it real. Just keep in mind that this is the same person who unrightfully got her news leaked. And Moss did deserve to get reprehended, he deserved to get banned, no fault in that. But for this same person to go through that and then turn around to get an innocent person banned from a game he was making money off of, the same game he made videos on, the same game he gave 110% into all his content, he was focused on grinding, making the community a better place through his content. She refused to see that. She refuses to see a young man who took the high road and apologized for something he did not do. She refuses to see the young man who grinded and put all that time into the game to make it better for the community. She refuses to see the young man who spent all those sleepless nights grinding and working to put food on the table. She refuses to see my client, NanoProdigy, for who he is, not the people he was around at that time. And instead, she pulls her victim card to pull his entire life from under him just for the fact that she can do it. Ragusa, being the extremely kind-hearted person he is, told the person that he will ban the entire group chat from all his games. Something that he even still stuck to this day. He banned someone he personally knows, someone he lived with for over a week, someone he knows deep down would never engage in any activity like that. Also, he can keep his word to someone who wants to play the victim 4 years later. Playing victim 4 years later with the sole intention of messing up the future of a minor who had nothing to do with the situation at that time. And yes, I keep saying playing the victim, because she's no longer a victim. That was 4 years ago. and I know for sure it no longer has any effect on her life to this day. This is just everyday Twitter power play to mess up the life of somebody doing better than you. However you want to interpret that, just because you can. And to Ragusa and Arch, I know you want to say you can't go back on your word, but we have to be realistic here. The way my client is being treated is unfair and unjust. Hardened criminals who get sentenced to 20 years and get out after 10 on good behavior. I am a living testament to this. My father was convicted for 20 years, but he got released after 10. And when he got out and I was born. I wouldn't even be here if not for that system. This is just a regular occurrence. And it's even crazy, I've never told this to anyone, I've never said this on video, never said this to a friend, I've never said this to anyone. I'm saying this not because I really want you to understand. I want you to understand how unjust and unfairly my client is being treated. I know you guys want to keep your word, but sometimes things change. People change. There is nothing wrong with changing your decision, especially when the decision you made back then was completely unfair. My client, who had nothing to do with the situation besides just being there, had nothing of punishment from being banned from Rogue, which already had nothing to do with the situation on its own. He got banned for something that he had no part of and got banned for just being there. This is the same thing as going shopping in a store. The store happens to get robbed. The police arrive and they arrest you and you get convicted for 10 years in jail just because, and I quote, you sat there and watched the robber rob them. Doesn't make any sense. No matter how you look at it, it doesn't make any sense. This is how crazy and unjust it is and unfair it is to my client. Because no matter which way you try to spin it, it makes no sense. And on the case of punishing everyone in the group chat regardless of their involvement, with the owners and a lot of the mods, we have been in group chats together where some people have been doing some very questionable things. And we both know that it is a complete injustice for anyone else to feel the brunt of their actions when they had nothing to do with the situation. What if we got shunned for things we did those days? And no, I'm not trying to call you out. I'm not trying to expose you. I'm simply trying to help you understand that the quote-unquote victim here is and is in fact my client, NanoProdigy. Your kindness is being abused. Also, your fear of being labeled as this horrible person or this bad game dev for not bending to her will is not the right thing. The right thing to do would have been DMing you saying, hey, after all this time, Nano was innocent. I don't think he should be banned from games anymore. That would have been the morally right thing to do because deep down she knows he was innocent and he had nothing to do with it. But instead, she comes 4 years later to try and pull him down back to the depths. No pun intended. Ragusa, Archmage, all I want as a final defense of my client, all me and my client wish is that you make the decision with your mind and heart. We want you to make the decision not based off what anybody else says or what you think anybody else will say. We want you to make the decision based off what you feel from your mind and your heart. If you truly believe that this is not injustice and this is completely fair towards Nano, then please, by all means, continue to keep him banned. But if there's even a sliver of you thinking, wow, he has a right to be upset. Wow, maybe this isn't fair. Wow. If I was in a situation, I would be mad too. If there's even a sliver of that in you, if there's even a sliver of justice, and you truly believe that, man, maybe this is the wrong thing to do, please, all me and my client, all we ask you is that you just rethink it, and please give my client the second chance he deserves. Because all he's doing right now is he's being treated unjustly, he's being treated unfairly, and it's not fair to anyone. As the defense team for my client, I don't know what's holding you guys back from making the right decision, but I hope this video helped you in that mental war that we all go through as humans called life. Please release my client, and thank you. Also, ending notes, if any of his friend or herself sees this video, I am so down to sit on a live stream and have a heart-to-heart conversation with you on why you honestly believe Nano should be banned 4 years later. We can sit down and have that conversation because I want to know your reasoning on why you're trying to punish my client who did nothing wrong in the situation. I really want to know what's driving you to ruin his life like this. I really need to understand where you're coming from. So once again, if you want to sit down on a live stream in front of hundreds of people and talk about it heart to heart so I can really see where you're coming from, just in case I am wrong, I'm sure I'm not, but just in case I am wrong, please, by all means, you can DM me, your friend can DM me, it doesn't matter who. I want to have this talk with you because my client is being treated completely unfairly. And the only way this could probably be passed over is if you yourself come out with your own mouth and say this. So please, if you truly think Nano isn't being treated unfair, if you truly think if you aren't a horrible person, if you truly think that Nano is being treated the right way, if you truly think there's nothing wrong with the situation, please DM me, contact me so we can talk this out in front of the peoples. Please. My client needs to be free. And these shackles of injustice you're placing on him are just holding him back. Please, allow my client peace.